is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Kevin Jackwitz here with the Kaged Review, and I'm here today to review WWE SmackDown Live for 7/17/2018. And I gotta say, after Extreme Rules and Raw, you could not possibly have gotten any worse. These guys have just lost all contact with their audience, I think. So you didn't have much to live up to, but I also know that SmackDown is usually better than Raw, and quite frankly usually better than the pay-per-views they put on too. And I don't know if that's because Raw has added to it or if they're just kind of sucking all over lately. But I actually did not hate this show, not at all. You start out with Jeff Hardy. He does a little promo, and it's kind of a Brother Nero promo, kind of the broken gimmick. And that was cool, and the crowd really responded to it. And then you get a really short segment with Renee interviewing Shinsuke Nakamura backstage. And, you know, he's saying he's going to make the clown cry because he's got the makeup on. And, you know, God bless America because now he's the U.S. champ. So, kind of a cool beginning. And it sets the stage for what's going to happen later, which is the rematch, Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. Championship. The first match of the night was actually really good. You had AJ Styles, of course, WWE Champion, versus Andrade Cien Almas, who has really not had too many matches here, but there was a bit where Zelina Vega went up to him and challenged him. And so that's the match that they start with. And very good. I was really impressed with Andrade. I thought he was pretty amazing in a couple of spots. I really like the backflip into the standing backflip into kind of like a splash onto AJ. That was very cool. I really liked that sequence. And there were a few really good spots in this match. So overall, I was very happy with it. AJ Styles wins. I didn't know if they were going to try to get Andrade to win, maybe some cheap way, or, you know, give him Zelina interfering somehow. But they wound up giving AJ the win, so, you know, I mean, Andrade being as new as he is, that's only to be expected, to be very honest. I mean, it really did showcase Andrade, though, and it really showed his skills, so that was cool. Backstage, you actually got what I thought was kind of a decent segment where Aiden English is going up to Lana, he's apologizing, he's asking her to talk to Rusev, and he's very remorseful about kind of screwing up Rusev's championship match at Extreme Rules by taking the turnbuckle pad off, and then Rusev winds up running into it. And the acting in this was pretty good, honestly. I'm not going to win any Oscars for sure, but I mean, when it comes to everything I've seen lately, this wasn't bad. So, cool segment there, and it had a point. So, you know, kudos for trying to make something relevant after the match. Then you get Becky Lynch versus Mandy Rose. Again, a decent match. No complaints about it. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It didn't really have any highlight points. But the big highlight was the fact that, you know, Becky Lynch has been on this tear lately. She's been on so many winning streaks. And so she beats Mandy Rose, and then she goes into a promo about how she's on fire and she's going to keep going to Carmella and the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Backstage, Paige, Carmella have a segment. Carmella doing her usual, you know, annoying heel gimmick. Paige says she's going to have a match with Becky Lynch next week, and if Becky wins, then Becky gets a shot at the title at SummerSlam. It scares me because I think it's just another person they're going to bury to Carmella, who is the most undeserving champion I've ever seen in WWE history. Hopefully that's not the case, but it is very possible. After that, you get kind of a funny backstage segment with R-Truth and Ty Dillinger. R-Truth is saying something, and Ty Dillinger thinks that R-Truth is talking to him, and it's about Samoa Joe in the match. And then R-Truth turns as Ty Dillinger walks away, and he's got an earpiece, and he's talking to his mom. It was kind of funny the way they set it up. So, again, points for creativity. And then that goes into Ty Dillinger versus Samoa Joe, which actually was better than I thought it was going to be, because Ty Dillinger comes out a house on fire, and he is just raining down on Samoa Joe, and he did it for quite some time, honestly. Inside the ring, outside the ring, then Samoa Joe finally picks him up into what could have been like a power bomb or something like that, a reverse powerbomb, I guess. And then he actually throws him face first into the pole, like, chest and face first into the pole outside of the ring. And then that, of course, sets up Samoa Joe just dominating the rest of the match. Samoa Joe picks up the win. This wasn't bad to me. Like, they've had a little bit of a storyline going between these two in the last couple of weeks, so they're continuing with it. I don't know that I'm invested in the storyline itself, but I really liked what they did here tonight. So, not bad. And then you get, honestly, what I thought was kind of the weak part of the show, even though usually The Miz is very good. The Miz has this mock eulogy for Team Hell No. They're saying Kane broke his ankle during the match at Extreme Rules. The Bludgeon Brothers, when they jumped him. And he just keeps going on and on about Team Hell No, and specifically Daniel Bryan. Of course, Daniel Bryan hears enough, comes rushing out, wails on The Miz for a minute, and then the pallbearers rush into the ring, and they get tossed around, and that's kind of where you're left. And Daniel Bryan's pointing at The Miz, and the inevitable clash between those two, is going to happen. After that, you get Kofi Kingston versus Eric Young, and Kofi and Eric did a decent match. There weren't really anything that highlighted the match or jumped out at me. And so, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's decent for what it was, but it wasn't a great match. There was a couple of cool spots where you had, the rest of the New Day and the rest of Sanity getting involved, a little bit of chaos. And eventually, Eric Young picks up the win. So I am glad that they're giving Sanity a little bit of a push here now. They came in, they had like a first couple of losses I thought was really ridiculous. And so I'm glad that they're like, okay, here's this big group, they're monsters, they're something to contend with. And then you bring up the main event, which is Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Good match. It was kind of slower than I'm used to for these two guys. I mean, Jeff Hardy, looks like he's been dealing with a lot of pain lately. You can see him limping around and holding his body when he's in the ring. And honestly, same thing with Shinsuke, to be completely honest. I mean, he's not exactly young. So they had a pretty good match for what it was. And it honestly had Jeff Hardy winning a lot of this match. And I've said that they've really been protecting Jeff Hardy and trying to make him look strong a lot lately. And in this match, toward the end, the big thing was that Jeff Hardy, he hits the Twist of Fate on Nakamura. He hits a Swanton Bomb right after. 1, 2, and he is clearly going to beat Shinsuke. And then Randy Orton comes from out of nowhere and pulls him out of the ring. Jeff Hardy. And Randy Orton just goes to wailing on Jeff Hardy, slamming his head into the steel steps like 5-6 times, and then beating him up all over the ring. And then there was this one little cringe spot where Jeff Hardy has the stretched earlobes while he had the earrings out, and Randy Orton reaches his finger into the hole, the stretched out hole, and starts pulling on Jeff Hardy's ear. And you could literally see people in the crowd just cringing. And so it made it look like a pretty valid beatdown. And honestly, I thought that was a really good idea because there was a cringe factor to it. It was something you don't usually see on WWE, something different, something that would really hurt. And so I thought that was creative. You got to give these guys props for doing that. So Randy Orton looks like he's coming back as the master heel that he always has been, and Jeff Hardy's got an uphill battle with Orton now. And then Randy Orton screaming, "You want to know why I'm doing this? Just ask." And so there's a little bit of mystery about what's going on there. And I actually like that. I like that they're kind of doing kind of what I think is an old school bit. And Randy Orton's certainly one of the guys to do it. I think Jeff Hardy's really another one to do it. So, very cool. I like the way it ended. I think it's setting up for SummerSlam or something like that. And I gotta say, after coming off Extreme Rules and Monday Night Raw, I was really happy to see this show because I've pretty much given up on WWE as a whole. They have moments of, entertainment through a lot of bullshit and stupidity these days. It's kind of like, you know, are you in a good relationship with bad moments, or are you in a bad relationship with good moments? Well, this relationship with WWE is definitely a bad relationship with good moments. They have failed on so many levels, and so it's kind of nice to see them come back true to, you know, old form in a couple of these matches, to be very honest. Overall, I felt like this show was pretty strong. I really do. I liked Hardy Nakamura opening because it set up what was going to happen later. AJ Styles, Andrade, I thought was good. The Lana English bit wasn't that big, but I thought it was well done. Becky Lynch, Mandy Rose was not bad. R-Truth, Ty Dillinger had a funny moment, and I wasn't terribly down on the Ty Dillinger Samoa Joe match. The only thing that I really thought was kind of down was the Miz eulogy, and Kofi Kingston, Eric Young was, you know, decent, but it wasn't great. So overall, I mean, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was very deserving because they really tried some things in this show. They did something different, especially with the Randy Orton beatdown on Jeff Hardy, and they had some good matches. So at the end of the day, they're building up for SummerSlam. They have some good matches. So yeah, I think 7 out of 10 is fair. I thought it was a really good show. Not perfect by any means, but it's WWE in 2018, so what do you expect? So that's my review for SmackDown. That's for July 17th, 2018. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, especially about the last segment there with Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. Let me know what you think about that. And if you enjoyed the review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jacko. It's Kaged Nation out.